Hello and welcome back to your favorite podcast. This is Becoming Relentless. And today we have a super special episode for you guys. We're releasing on a Monday. What is this?
This is a 2-episode week. Let's party.
Drum roll, please. Y'all are going to want to stay tuned for this one. It is jam-packed full of information and
honestly,
good times.
Yeah, achievements.
Everything good. So we'll see you guys inside. All right, D.
All right.
How are you?
I'm living life, beautiful, grateful to be alive.
How far out are you right now?
17. 17 days right now. When this comes out, which is Monday. Oh goodness, I have to do some math real quick. 12 days when this comes out.
Dang, when y'all are watching this, D is 12 days away from game day.
Game day.
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
Dude, I'm hyped for you. It's going to be really good.
I was going to share it because I was on the way here and this is the first day in like a long time I accomplished my cardio before 5 p.m. So I was like really happy. And I was thinking about how when I get to my last like 3-4 weeks, it's been last 4 weeks since I'm really picky on what I'm listening to song wise. I like rap. I like EDM. I haven't played rap or EDM this whole time, except for, there is one song. I listened to 4 songs and those 4 songs repeat.
Yeah.
And it's only those. And one of them, it's like Unstoppable by Sia.
Yep.
Is that how you say her name?
I think so.
I feel like
it's like SIA, Sia.
Yeah. Moment for Life by Nicki Minaj and Drake. We got Trampoline by,
dude, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's like Shays or something like that.
And then Where Are You? So Where Are You? Oh, I'm going to share a little insight. Where Are You? I played backstage in the Texas State show because the first time I heard it, or the first time I had a moment with the song, I was at a rave and there was a lasers, raves. And so when it was going on, like I remember, no one else probably does this, which is so weird. It's not weird that I do it, but like it was playing at a rave and I was thinking about being on stage and like when the song goes, Where Are You? Like I was picturing myself like my dream is to be on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you listen to the song Where Are You by John Summit, that's the song
that's the vibe.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's like, yeah, just I play you play empowering things whenever you're leading up. I'm so big on like whatever you listen to does play an impact. Like if you listen to rap, murder stuff, XYZ, like I get it. I want to Rob Wave, like put that on. I know like Juice, what's his name? Juice WRLD. Like I know all the songs, but like if you listen to the actual words, they're not the most positive, uplifting, I'm going to conquer the world and change lives in a positive way kind of thing.
I feel that 100%. And I did the same thing, like within my prep setting. When I get really close, there's like just a few songs.
Yeah.
Mostly, honestly, they're movie soundtracks because I don't like the words. Like I don't want words. So there's a Game of Thrones song that I listen to. It's called Light of the Seven. And if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you know what I'm talking about. It's the song.
That is funny.
It's epic. It's also 9 minutes long.
Wow, that's amazing. So cardio?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, literally.
My gosh.
I would put the song on and I'd be like, I only have to listen to this song 4 times.
Dude, it's a lifesaver when it's like that. Oh my God,
so then it's by the song.
Big relate.
Big tip.
Yeah, big tip there. Like find a song or a playlist that's extra long and you do the math. You got 4 times on this song and you're done.
Yeah.
Like, easy.
So then you get to like 2 times through the song. You're like, dude, I only have to listen to this song 2 more times. And you're just moving, you're going.
It's so nice. And it's like that.
That's my
versus, dude, you know what sucks? When you're playing like a playlist and the song's 2 minutes and you're like, oh my gosh.
It's almost like disappointing. You're like, no, it's only 2 minutes.
Dude, that's funny. But sometimes you'll relate during this season, when you're like 2 weeks out, I just won't play music. And yesterday was a long day. I was doing cardio super late And I was like, I'm gonna close my eyes and like almost like get ready for bed as I'm cranking it out. Like mentally, I turned off literally all the lights except for like the back one in the kitchen. And it was like dark and I was just like, let's do this. And then, you know, they set the tone.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
It was funny, but it was so calming.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I don't recommend.
Do you visualize?
Yeah. So I definitely visualize all. You'll relate, like the closer you get, it's like goes from a cardio thing to like a cardio and posing thing. And then it goes to a cardio, posing, and training. And then it's just in your mind 24/7. You're driving and that's all you think about and that's all you're seeing. And you're in the elevator and like that's all you see. And so right now it's like that, right? It's just all the time. So there will be times where I can tell them I don't want to say stimulated and like stimulation of like too much going on, stressed, but more so you need to calm down. Like it's not tomorrow. Like you're got 17 days, like you're here right now, be present kind of thing. Cause sometimes I'll get too anxious of like, just, I'm stuck in this one like vision, but today is today, you know? I'll vision the posing. Do you do this? I think I'll relate. I'll vision myself doing the routine, and then I'll vision myself as the judge watching myself do the routine, and at all angles. So you can, it's like a out of world but in world kind of experience.
Yeah, depending on the show. So like going into nationals, you kind of know what the background's going to look like. It's usually like a purpley blue like background. Like you know the color, you know what the stage is going to look like. I'd envision like all different angles, like me walking on there, me being me, like above, like judge, like all sorts of things. And I go through step by step, like what am I going to do? Where am I going to step? What am I going to look like? Everything. Yeah. That would get me through a lot of the long cardio sessions because once you let your mind get to that place and you visualize, you're just
going. And then the time's just passing. Right now, my cardio, so it's funny because when my cardio was much, well, when I started cardio in the beginning of my prep, it was more so 4,000 calories for every 7 days, I think. And so I got to split it up how I wanted. So some days I would do 1,000 in a day, which is like pretty good amount. Yeah, and I would split that up like 500 in the morning or 700 in the morning and the rest in the afternoon. I don't have that much right now in terms of, I have 50 minutes a day. But because you're at the point that you're at, like you're 2 weeks out, like those 50 minutes feel harder than the 4,000 you did when you had more body fat. So right now I'll crush 25 in the morning and then I'll do the rest in the evening. But the time, I wouldn't say necessarily goes by faster. It's just always like, it's what you got to do kind of thing.
Yeah. Whenever we switch to time-based, that's kind of when I know that like things are getting close. Yeah. Because it'll be like the calories and then he'll just be like, all right, 60 minutes a day. And you're like,
so he actually has it on calories. It's 600, which is roughly 50. So it's 600 a day. But I agree. Like once he switches, like in the beginning, once you get the minutes.
I think he kind of knows because for me, there's a point where the effort like
changes.
You don't have not the energy. The body fat's gone.
But
you're just like.
I want to like dive into that.
And your heart rate, you're too conditioned.
I want to dive into that because I was literally doing cardio last night and I was like, man, this feels like it's crazy. No one will understand unless you've done a prep, like a true proper like athlete, hard competitor prep, not I cheated on the diet a couple times kind of prep. But once you get to a certain point, the cardio is, your endurance is so good that you're not necessarily breathing heavy. Like you feel your heart rate's high, but you're not breathing heavy. Like you're not having these outrageous sweats. Like you're not like, you can hold a conversation if needed. You're going to be like a little, like it's going to be hard, but it's different because your body's just tired. Like for me right now, I'm just telling myself like, keep on pumping your legs. Like I'll just repeat that, like just keep pumping. The more you pump, like eventually you're going to be done with it. So it's funny because in the beginning, it's like you're just out of air, your endurance. And then at the end, it's just like the mechanics of your body just has to keep moving. Yeah.
I think that's the mental component, like what separates good athletes from really great athletes, and like who's going to finish their cardio and who's not, because at the end of the day, like you only have yourself to report to. Like you could
Exactly.
lie to like your coach or
Yeah.
everybody, but you can't lie to yourself.
Ooh,
And it's going to show on stage, like no matter what.
the
So
thing is, exactly, you know how it shows? It's not necessarily in the physique. It's in the fact that your self-belief will not ever be able to overcome that mental battle of, oh, I skipped cardio 2 weeks ago. Like it's a mindset thing. And that's the
yeah,
thing. Yesterday I was talking to myself. I was like, I was obviously, like I said, talking to myself. And I was thinking about, and I was just sitting here before I did my cardio, I was looking at the machine and I was like, it's so easy for someone not to do the rest of it, because at the end of the day, like you're not, it's not going to see anything. And if anything, like they'll just drop food more if needed to get you leaner. But what separates the good competitors and athletes to like the great is the fact that if you don't check off every box, it's going to it's going to haunt you for the like every single day. And it's like getting on stage, especially at a national level, the self-belief has to be so strong.
Oh yeah.
To like really have your it factor, to really do what you can do best and like be that overall champion or be that IFBB pro. Like you have to have that strong self-belief. And that means you have to accomplish everything within that day. Like you have to end your day with everything checked off. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people realize. But I was in the car and I was thinking about this. It's not a quote, but it probably is somewhere. People who've never won don't know the taste of winning. And it's like, if you never won any, like you haven't won anything, you haven't worked for anything, you haven't earned anything, you never know what it really feels like to win.
Yeah.
And there is a quote that's something like along the lines of the fact of getting your first win is hard, but getting your next one, your second one, and your third one, and your fourth one is much harder.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true, especially because as a competitor, your first win is usually the easiest win that you will ever get.
Yep. And if somehow, it doesn't happen a lot, but if you didn't go 100% and you still got rewarded with a win, then you're not going to have what it takes to keep winning, because it reinforced that like you could cheat on your diet or you could skip your cardio, and that does add up over time. So maybe you do win, like you get lucky and you win a couple times, but look at the long time span. Like, do you want to be a winner for a season, or do you want to be a winner for a long time? And you're so right. Every level, like every win, the next one's even harder. The next one's even harder.
I think you'll agree, your first like overall win, your first win on a stage, like your first class win,
Yeah,
was so much easier than every win that is after that. And I gaining your pro card is the hardest win of all. But once you enter like your IFBB pro and like you enter that stage, like your little fish, it's like starts all over again. But I really believe, you know, there's levels to just like your amateur level, show levels, like becoming a pro. Not many, a lot of athletes, new competitors think that, all right, I'm gonna get first place and then I'm gonna get my pro card. Or then they maybe get third place in their class and they're like, hey, I'm still gonna get my pro card. It doesn't work like that, honey. Like it's a long game. Yeah. Like like, of course, we're always shooting for the overall. We're always shooting for number one, but you have to be in it for a while. And that's what really separates people who are winners and champions and who are not. Because it, like, dude, y'all have to read the book Winning. Y'all have to read it. Oh, it's so good. But it showcases so much insight on how like there's good competitors, there's great competitors, and there's overall champions. Yep. And everyone has a part, and it's not discounting like everyone's role. Like if you're a good competitor, by all means, like be that. Some people don't have the mindset or the tenacity or the drive to be great, and others don't have the drive to be champions, and that's okay. But owning it and being real with yourself, and also like you can be a champion at competing and be good at something else. Like there's just whatever your passion is at. Have you read the book Relentless? Yeah. So that's what I'm on right now.
So I always read Tim Grover books in prep, and I have them on audiobook, but I also have I have a collection of books that I go through because I feel like they just hit on the mindset component really well. But it also kind of reminds you that the goal that you have is a goal that a lot of other people have.
Mm-hmm.
And that should push you. Because I think if you're a competitor within bodybuilding, you have that competitive spirit. And if you think about it, there are hundreds of girls who are going to show up to nationals with the same dream as you, the same goal as you. And so who's to say that they're not working harder than you? And when I think about that, it just pushes me.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I am competitive, because I do want to win. And even though this is crazy and I've joked about it before, I want you and M to go pro so that I can compete against you guys. I want to be on stage next to you. You know what I mean?
It's going to happen.
Not in the case of I'm competitive, I want to beat y'all, but in the turn, because I know you guys work just as hard and we all would push each other so far, on and off stage. And so I want y'all to be there so badly, which is why, no matter what, I'm always going to want to see you guys win. I'm not the type of person that's I'm the only pro. I don't want them to go pro. No, I have the opposite mindset. I'm I want them to go pro so that we can actually
battle
go
it
up
out
on stage together. Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming. It's in our future.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
It's so exciting.
I'm so
agree.
excited.
Let me ask you, so what do you feel like is the number one what's your favorite, I don't want to say thing, but I'm going to say thing because I don't have the word on my brain right now. What's within your power of tools? If you have a toolbox and in this toolbox is everything hard work, dedication, drive, discipline, accountability, self-belief. It's just all these tools that make you a high level competitor. What is your number one favorite that you feel like you would be able to say that's you're going to put that first and foremost? That's what really, it reminds you of yourself. It gets you going. It's the thing that you think about all the time. I have mine, but I want to hear
everything.
yours.
I think the word isn't ambition. It's it's a mix between drive and ambition. Whatever is in between those words or encompasses those two, because I think a lot of us have the drive or a lot of us have ambition, but I feel like the way that I operate is I have the vision and the goals in front of me, and even if I don't have the tools within me yet fully developed to get there, I know that my drive can get me there. I have those ambitions, I have those goals, and I just don't give up. I don't. Yeah. I'm in off season and I want to prep again already, even though I prepped for 9 months. I'm just ready. I want to. It's not so much that I'm in a rush. It's more so that I believe so heavily in myself and my drive that even if, okay, maybe my glutes haven't grown enough yet, I know that they will grow. I know that they will be there, and I know I can get them there. And so I just want to be on stage because I know.
Take the time now. It's going to pay off.
Yeah.
I get it. That was a good answer.
That was a good question.
It's fun to. That was a great question. That was a great question.
That was a great question.
I was toolbox. Yeah. I was okay. I was how am I supposed to ask this? I don't have the words. Let me create. I always think about a toolbox within things.
Yeah.
Because but I agree. You said ambition and drive, and then you backed it up with self-belief. So my number one is self-belief, and I rely on that. I don't even want to say rely, but that's my number one of
Yeah,
it's just, and you agree though. That's why we're so alike. And this is, I think we talked about this when we were in San Marcos for my show. We were in the car on the way back from the show, and I was you know what? It was talking about how Relentless for us is perfect because at the end of the day, our self-belief is so relentless. There is nothing in this world that could make us or challenge us to not believe in ourselves more, because we will continually compile that. And it's not a cockiness thing. It's just a fact of look, we have these goals, and if you have a dream or a goal, you can believe, you can achieve it. And the only thing that's going to get you there besides hard work is self-belief.
Yeah. I almost feel like the self-belief has to come before the hard work, because if you don't
Agreed.
believe in yourself, then you won't
You won't
do
show
the
up.
work.
You won't,
Yeah.
Because exactly. Because you got to break over the mental
Mhm.
battles. And if the self-belief isn't there, you're not going to.
That's why I think that becoming relentless as our podcast is so perfect. I feel like we just kind of came up with that name. I don't want to say randomly, but it
was one of those, dude. I remember
Yeah.
Justin was like, y'all need to start a podcast. And I was like, man, we got to hit a name and it can't be anything good.
Yeah.
And we were in a group chat. And then it was like, dude, it was like, all right, let's hit it.
I think it literally was just like, okay, becoming relentless. And we're like, let's have it be relentless.
Mhm.
And then the becoming. And we were like, yeah, let's roll with it. Let's just go with it. Yeah, we were
Because
like, this
it's
sounds
perfect.
good.
Yeah.
But we really have like grown with the name. Like we've evolved into it and with it. And I think that's so special.
Mm. It is special. It's our baby. And it's our
baby.
baby's birthday.
Yes. So this episode dropped today on the day that y'all are listening, because it is actually our birthday. Our baby's birthday.
It's becoming Relentless's birthday, and we just wanted to celebrate.
Yeah.
It's a special time. And I'm honestly so proud. I'm so proud. I'm proud of everything, but I'm proud of obviously the impact it's had. But honestly, the impact the show and the podcast has had on me is more impact than like I had on it, in my opinion. Even though like I'm the one here talking, like this show, like just it compiled my own self-belief.
Yeah, talk about that. What should we dive in? Like, what have been your favorite episodes?
Yeah, I actually wrote them down.
Yeah.
My favorite one of all time was actually, okay, there's like 3 that are kind of fighting. So I wrote How to Become Your Own Best Friend, because that was the first, like, for me, the first like true most vulnerable episode. The first one that I really talked about within like being present vulnerability. Because I would talk about my eating disorder, and that's in a past. Like, dude, that's a past thing. That's a past like it's
almost something you can easily share and talk about because like, you've already done,
When we released How to Become Your Own Best Friend, like I was going through that. Like I was talking about being your own best friend, becoming that, because I was striving to become that and becoming that. And so that one's definitely my number one. What's your number one?
I really had to think about this for a while. I also wrote some of mine down, but I do think that my favorite so far has been the hard truths, the 5 hard truths that we just released. 1, because I think you and I were so aligned and on top of it, but also 2, because I realized I learned a really big lesson from that podcast, not necessarily what we talked about, but the after effects. I knew that we were going to get like negative attention, but I didn't realize like the amount of negative attention. And when I wasn't in a good headspace last week, and we were also getting these comments.
Dude, we get some nasty comments. Like I'm talking, dude, if they if people knew, and I say they as in y'all, because we only get the nasty comments on the Becoming Relentless episodes that drop.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, if you have 100 comments, probably 95 of them are disgusting. Actually,
like awful. And that's not to say that like we haven't gotten positive reactions either. And I've gotten so many positive DMs, so many positive messages, but I feel like the last week and a half, ever since we dropped that episode and what we've put out on Instagram, it taught me that sometimes people aren't going to understand us or our message. And that's okay. Like I can't fight every battle, and I can't get everybody to understand what we're trying to get at. And I also can't get people to understand that like, hey, we clipped that clip for clickbait, like for a specific reason to trigger you, and you feeling triggered and attacking me or you or our physical characteristics, our character based off of that 30 seconds. Like I can't control that, and just letting it go, because I feel like a lot of the time, like I want to defend us. Like I want to show them like, hey, we're really actually trying to help you. Like I have resources to help you. I want to have a conversation with you. But when people attack me, now I have to just be like, you know what? they don't understand my message, and that's okay, because the people who do understand the message that we're putting out, they resonate with it. Those are the audience members that we want anyways.
I will say to give yourself, because is this the first like true time you've ever gotten hate?
I would
like
say
pure hate, like real. It's like this year within the 6 months.
Within this last 6 months, yeah.
And give yourself like a year, and you'll be like, because I've been getting hate for like, it'll take some time. And I agree. Like when I first started getting like the first like 6 months, I started getting like a lot of hate. I was very, very affected by it, like mentally. And I wanted to defend myself. I'm like, why? Like I wanted to defend everything.
Yeah.
But then I realized, number one, like you said, not everyone's going to understand the message, but not everyone's going to like me, and that's okay. I don't need you to like me. I like me. You also don't, you liking me or not liking me does not affect my self-belief or my goals or my people.
Or what you do in a day.
I'm never
like,
going to,
really
am I marrying you?
Yeah.
No. Am I going to see you? No. You know why? Because we don't like each other. Just kidding.
And honestly, I think about that too. I'm like, even if this person saw me in real life,
they would love you.
They would never say anything like what they're saying online to me in person.
No, exactly.
Like I know that for a fact.
But you know what's also funny? It's funny because look, if you go on one of our recent ones that dropped, there'll be all of the comments are negative. We're going to go to a bodybuilding show or any of these shows, and these people are going to walk up to us acting like fans. We don't read the comments. I've read maybe like 3. I turned the
notifications
off. I've read 3 in the last like 3 months. And they're going to fanboy or girl over us, and then they're going to realize like, oh, they actually are different than what I thought. Like, oh, I do want to look like them, or oh, they do work hard, or oh, she doesn't sound or look like a man.
And those don't get me so much anymore.
Yeah.
I just laugh because I'm like, I clearly don't look or sound like a man. Like, it's just like, I don't though. So whatever like y'all are saying, it doesn't, like, I just know that it's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And
you are your truth.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, at the end of the day.
So those don't really get me. It's more the ones that are like, they're like purposely misunderstanding the message, where they're like, oh, you're privileged because you think everyone can afford therapy. I'm like, I never said that, but if you were interested in therapy, I can provide resources for you for under $50.
So the thing is about these people, they don't want, like, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like you can say that they're like, dude.
And they'll still say that
they don't want your help. So like you doing that is just wasting time.
Yeah.
And that's like, so that's why even responding to these people to like, it affects your own energy. And I get mad if I even say one slight response to anyone. And it could be just like an LOL. Like one comment back to a negative comment, LOL. I get annoyed with myself of like, why'd I comment? Like that's allowing negative energy into my life. And so it's just like leaving it to the side. But that's with anything like that y'all go through, any negative energy, any negative comment, people bullying you, people in your DMs, like, what are you doing? I'm doing me, but don't respond. Don't even, it doesn't matter.
That's something huge that I feel like we've both taken away from the podcast too, though, is like the energy we allow around us and like online.
Mm-hmm.
It matters, and having those filters in place, and also just realizing like, I like what you said, not everyone is going to like us, and that's okay. Because
we're not made to be liked by the whole freaking world, and that's like perfectly fine.
If you're liked by the whole world, then you're not doing anything great. You're not doing anything important, because people who put themselves out there and achieve great things.
No one person is liked by everyone.
Yeah.
There is not one person on this earth that is liked by everyone. Even probably dogs are liked by everyone. Yeah, even dogs. Like there are people who
don't like dogs. Yeah.
Exactly.
It happens. What about like babies? I feel like there are people who don't like babies. Like that's
people,
a baby.
People don't like pizza. How? Emily literally like 3 years ago.
Emily Smith.
She didn't like pizza. She didn't like burgers.
Damn.
When I was a kid, bro, I didn't like fries or chocolate, which is crazy.
That's wild.
That was like,
that's all we want now. We're just like, can we get some fries and some chocolate?
Did he misspell fries for rice?
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
What else have you learned from the pod?
Oh.
Or anything else that you want to talk about for our baby's birthday?
I mean, obviously we touched on the negative, but the positive, man, is incredible. Their vulnerability that not only that we've grown closer with each other with, but like with
Yeah.
the people that are listening, it's just insane. It's like it's allowed us. So I wrote this down in my notes too. Like
Hmm.
looking back at the past year, I really truly view the podcast as almost a journal that obviously has a voice to other people and has a voice with you. But it is a journal because when you listen back, you listen to like my self talk, who was younger and just learning, but also voicing her experiences. I think the podcast is somewhat just therapy.
When I was going through the old episodes for this one,
Mm-hmm.
I went all the way back to episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, cringy, but like in the best way, because we were all so new and nervous, but you could tell we were trying to get in the flow. We were trying to learn. And I actually put on here that episode 2 of what being relentless means to us. I put that one as one of our favorites because I think that's the first time that we attempted to open up and get a little bit vulnerable. And I don't think that we really did, but we were trying to. And you
Did
could
we introduce ourselves and we
Mhm.
talked about our story a little bit?
Yeah, like you and Sess talked about going hyper in your preps and how that affected your self-belief and like your mentality. And I think all three of us kind of told a story about when we struggled.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, it was fun to listen to and also hard to listen to because I'm like, man, we have come so far since that episode and the information in there is amazing. But if you look over the last year, we have grown
I
so much
remember.
and like the audience has grown so much and the impact and just the energy and what we talk about. It's been really fun. But going all the way back and reflecting, it was really cool to see because even like the way that we sit and carry ourselves and like I think you and I touched on this the other day, but like you were like kind of fidgeting and
Mm-hmm.
playing with things and like
Yeah.
I think all of us were kind of like closed off body language and now when we come record, we're so
Open-hearted.
open. Yeah. Like the journal, like we're opening up and journaling to our audience.
There is like nothing that if we had a Q&A, ask whatever you want, there's nothing you wouldn't share.
Yeah.
Which is super dope because before like we were closed off, like you said, but I also feel we just didn't understand our power as individuals. And now we're just more in tune with our own self-work, which that's what I said. The podcast has done a lot for me. And it's allowed me to really step into like my own personal growth and share that with the world, whoever's listening, the world. But it's challenged me to do more, like dive in deeper, like how far can you go? And obviously I can go way further. There's always going to be like levels to it. But I agree that episode, I remember when we first started, we would get feedback from like Justin and other people, and they would say like, just flow more, like just flow, less pausing, less likes, less looking at each other, get less stumbling, less like being nervous and just.
And he used to say too, be vulnerable. And we were like, we are being vulnerable, but
We talked about macros when we were being vulnerable.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And now it has just completely evolved. And I do feel like the true vulnerability is coming out, especially within the last few episodes. So I'm proud of how far we've come, but I also know that in a year from now, looking back at this birthday episode, just it's going to be even better because we just don't stop improving.
No,
we are becoming relentless.
Exactly. You're doing it with us, crew. We got a whole fucking family.
We're all elevating.
My second one was the Power of Presence episode. But I will say my third one, we got a lot of people loving it, which was the codependency. Yeah. Overcoming codependency and trauma, childhood trauma. That was another one that was like going in real deep. But I remember we got a lot of good feedback on that because childhood trauma, which I love, we're going to continue doing like episodes on that. But childhood trauma is such a strong root of all trauma. It's because like you're a kid, and childhood trauma doesn't even mean just from your parents. It just means your childhood, the things that like the simple things, like you can't have Skittles, you can't have candy. Like telling a kid that their whole entire life affects things when they get older.
Yes.
And it's crazy. You look back and like as a kid or that individual who's told no all the time looks back and maybe they become closed off to like everything. Like they don't take chances because as a kid they grew up always saying like getting told no.
Yeah.
And so when as an adult now they're just stuck in their ways of not taking chances or fearing a no or fearing like just never saying yes to things. And it's just like it's crazy what your childhood does to you.
Everything that happens to you as a kid can have an effect on you as an adult. And I just don't think that that's something many people take the time to investigate. And I think that episode opened a lot of doors, but it was really cool. I specifically remember athletes messaging me after that episode dropped, just saying how impacted they felt. And then also on Instagram, strangers reaching out and saying how much hearing us talk about it made them reflect and realize that they needed to do some self-work in that area as well. And it's very humbling every time something like that happens, that you get a message from someone you don't know or even someone that you're working with and they dive a little bit deeper with you. Like, I think you've been talking about this a lot on your stories. You feel more connected to your team than ever before. And just the way you're communicating with them and opening. Yeah. And I think this podcast and like the podcasts we've come out with within the past year have opened those doors, have helped us become better coaches in that way too. So talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was crazy. I did find out my story last week. I was going through all my check-ins, like usual, another day of check-in. And I was like, dude, every single person is in the same mental trajectory in terms of every single person is improving within the mental health. And it doesn't mean that they have some issues. Like all of them have like something going on, divorce, breakups, moving out of an apartment with their ex-boyfriend, binge eating, literally Tuesday binge eating, Friday checking in with me kind of thing. Like they have things going on. Every single person is improving. Like that's their they're just sharing wins that, hey, like I binge eat on Tuesday, but today I had an Oreo and I did not binge eat kind of thing. Like that's a freaking win with like, that's a, kind of win within itself. And I was thinking about it and I was like, when I was in my roughest times, these past years many times, I went through when I was in my roughest multiple times this past year, I was my athletes were still improving, but there were definitely some that were like my mental health's taking a turn, like just not feeling as if things are moving in the right direction within that regard. But it's crazy how like the last 8 weeks, I want to say 6 weeks for me have been really good mental health wise and taking control of like my own emotions and being an observer of myself and where I want to go. Every single person like on my team is the same way. And I truly believe like it's crazy because who you are led by does impact you. Like you choose your leader because not only do you want to be like them, but you admire things about them that you already have within you. And so that's really big, by the way. So if you're someone that's like, oh, I wonder why my role models are my role models, it's because they have things about them that you already have within you, but their things are just more compelled, like more developed or just higher XYZ. So I truly believe as like a leader of our athletes, it's our job to always look internal and not just within educating yourself on what's the new diet plan that people are like doing, like kind of thing, but more so like, okay, how deep can I go within my own self-discovery and self-development? Because that's going to allow me to help my people do that as well and become better humans.
Yeah. And no, like whatever you're going through, they're going to sense it, they're going to see it, they're going to feel it, and then they're going to be able to grow from it too, which I think is super cool.
Just like competing. Like we've done this for so long that we know like every prep's different, but we also know like when you're X weeks out, like you're going to feel this exact way. You're going to feel flat at this time. Training pumps aren't going to be there. You're going to have headaches here and there. It's normal. And if you're a new competitor, like you're like, is this okay? what's happening?
I'm hungry.
Am I
Is that
dying?
normal?
What's happening? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
My heart rate
Which
is
so
different
funny.
than it was
Yeah.
10 weeks ago. What's up? But like we understand like at 8 weeks out, you're gonna feel exactly like this, and this is exactly how you feel, kind of thing. And so that's like the beauty of just like just being who we like being coaches and athletes and just competitors. It's all
Being able to evolve. I think it's really special too to go through that growth and have the personal growth and business growth and competitor growth, all of that, and then be able to come here and talk about it and share it with the world. So no matter what, I think if we continue doing this, it is going to be successful because we're continuing to grow and evolve.
we got high goals for this thing.
Oh, yeah.
High goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we said. We got ambition, we got drive, we got a whole lot of fucking self-belief.
Woo. The Lulu,
yeah,
if you will.
And if y'all have ideas that y'all are like, man, I'd love to see Becoming Relentless on X platform, or like them do a podcast on this, or like just dude, shoot us. We're open to it all. Not shoot give it to us.
Yeah.
Man, yeah.
DM, shoot it over to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send a little message.
So do you want to touch on goals for the podcast? Cool. All right. The next year, we do have some high-reaching goals. I think one of the biggest things that like I would really love to accomplish is have a live podcast, live Q&A.
We're gonna do many of those, not just one, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to have it be a regular kind of event, but really get the audience involved so that you guys can directly ask us questions. We can connect further with you.
It'll be like more one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all one-on-one. So we also want to introduce, maybe, I don't know if this is a 2024 thing, but we also would like to have some type of like app or platform where it's more community oriented. And you know what? It's going to happen in 2024. So
yeah, we can come out with an app.
Yeah. So, and it's going to be way more community oriented. We want to help y'all in a more like community and one-on-one type of how can you become more relentless besides listening to a podcast named Becoming Relentless, talking to people who feel relentless.
And if you're listening to the podcast and you've been listening and you've been with us through this journey, we want to continue that and give back to you guys. And what better way than to bring everyone together and have that sense of community within an app. And so I think it's possible. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
But that is something that we are striving to do for you guys.
And of course, the merch.
Yes. That's what I was going to say next. Like we would also, so our goal for this podcast is to open it up a little bit more outside of just bodybuilding, because obviously we operate within the bodybuilding paradigm. Like we are bodybuilders, but that's just not all encompassing for who we are. We're not just bodybuilders. We are so much more than that. And we want to bring you guys along our journeys in exploring things outside of that. So what I mean by that is bringing like guests on who are experts in their fields in various topics. So we will have more guests on. We are going to increase the frequency of podcast uploads because I know that's been a huge thing. We were consistent with one a week, and I think that's something to be super proud of.
Oh yeah,
because for a full year,
we won't let that fail though.
Yeah,
if we say we're going to hit 3 a week, like you best believe we're hitting 3 a week.
So we are going to up the recording, the frequency, the uploads, so that you guys have more. Because we want to bring you more, and I know that
we have more.
People have been asking us.
I know. I'm like,
for more.
Yeah, we got it. We got it in the bag.
It is on the way. It is coming.
Just stay around.
Yes. I'm trying to think what else. If you're in Texas, we will be having booths like throughout the year. Probably not every Texas show, because obviously like we have our own athletes, we have our own show days.
Yeah.
But Becoming Relentless would like to be present at bodybuilding shows as well as like other events.
Yeah. And during this time, so when we have, obviously we'll be doing pro shows together. So it won't be those shows. We won't be like on stage and like, gotta get to my booth real quick. Like, no, we're trying to live on stage here.
Suit, Becoming Relentless.
Yeah. But I will... Okay,
I think that'd be dope.
You know, I had an idea.
Honestly.
I had an idea. I'm going to share with y'all. What if, just because our color is purple, we compete at the same show in a suit that's like that looks good on both of us? Like,
yeah.
You can choose your own color of purple. I'll choose mine.
You already know what I'm
I know.
to do.
I have to choose mine. But what if we did like purple together for Becoming Relentless Represent?
I think that'd be so fun.
That'd be sick. Anyways, so we're going to also the booths. Like it's gonna be obviously we're gonna have our merch there, but we want to like any struggles that y'all want to talk to us in person with, like come chat with us, come get some posing tips, come get some competitor tips, come get some lifestyle tips, come get some help me lose 5 pound tips, help me understand why I say no to everything and want to dive into my mental health kind of thing. Hit it with us in person.
Yeah. I think mostly what we're trying to do is become just more connected. We want to help you guys be relentless in your pursuits. And one way that we believe we can do that is by like connecting with you one-on-one. And I know sometimes I've had people like come up to us in the gym, which is awesome and amazing. But I think in that setting, like, especially when you're on prep, like for D, like when she's in her focus mode, like it's amazing to see a listener, but we're not fully mentally there.
We're not mentally. We're able and we're ready to give you whatever at any time. But when you're 2 weeks out, all you think about, right? Like you come up to me, and I might look like you get it. You'll look like mad faced, and you're actually so freaking ecstatic, but you're focused on that overall win.
Yes,
and so it's like we appreciate it, but at the gym.
Which is why we want to do these events so that you guys can come up to us and connect with us and have like our full presence. And we can give back to you guys the way that you guys have supported us. And I think in the spirit of Thanksgiving also, because...
How about Thanksgiving? Shoot.
Yeah, I know.
Bro, I keep forgetting.
It's coming so quick.
It happens every like, it'll be like... often throughout the day, like, oh yeah, it's Thanksgiving, just because I'm not doing anything. Well, I am, like, I'm gonna meet with y'all, but usually, like, you get the whole turkey.
It's hard when you're on prep to like get excited about Thanksgiving. Like, I honestly,
well, no, because if you're excited about it, to be honest, like, you probably do. Well, for me, I'm this totally personal. If I'm excited about it, it's because I'm gonna be able to enjoy like the actual experience.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about Christmas, but I'm more excited, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, it's like an experience kind of thing. I'm excited to spend it with you, though.
I think, oh, thank you. I'm excited, too. That's what Hugh said, too. He was like, I'll see you tomorrow. I was like, you will? He's like, yeah, it's Thanksgiving. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, dude, that is tomorrow. Yeah. But it's mostly because, I remember going through prep on Thanksgiving 3 years in a row. So I missed 3 Thanksgivings. And, like, I was there with my family or whoever, but it's different because you just sit there and like I would have my Tupperware.
Exactly. I rather
and
not
like
go.
Mentally, I was just not complete. Yeah, like
I'd rather not go, not have to like personally when I'm that far. When you're like a week out from your show and you're around all this, it's not just the food. It's just you're around an environment that's not show oriented. You're sitting there like excited to be around these people and like experience the present moment. But all you think about is like stay focused on your show. Like stay focused on your show.
Yeah.
Like that's all you think, like the constantly in your head. And then it's just like, okay, I'd rather be at home, like doing my thing, doing my work, doing my cardio, like posing and not having to tell myself to stay focused, but actually like be in the zone.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely relate to that. It was really nice. Like the one Thanksgiving that I was on prep and I went to California, it was really nice to do that because I got to see my family and they got to see me on prep because normally they don't see me at all. But it was difficult because I could tell like, even though they treated me like normal, I could just tell that they were kind of like, timid. Oh, Noah, you're so small. You know, like you're not eating. And I'm like, I'm eating. It's just this much.
Yeah, it's just,
you know what I mean?
2 bites of fish and 2 asparagus.
Like when I left too, because I was there for like a full week, I remember like my grandma, she was just like, you're smaller now than you were when you arrived. And I was like, that's a good thing. Like,
yeah, you're like, hopefully.
Yeah.
Dude, I have this thing. I'm like,
you know what I mean?
Like, I really truly believe the more, sometimes when I go to those events and I'm like on prep, the fact that I'm around like I can smell the food makes you hungrier. So I feel like I leave leaner in a way.
Right.
It's funny.
It is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm very thankful that I can spend Thanksgiving with you guys tomorrow and like enjoy.
It's it definitely makes, but it's like I said, like we said in the past, like what you did it 3 times in a row. This is my 3rd Thanksgiving. Yeah, dude, this is my 3rd time at nationals.
3rd time's a charm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, but I get it. Like, yeah, you just miss holidays, and then you realize, like, when you're first new competing, you're like, oh man, like next year. And then like you get to next year and you're competing again, and it's like, oh man, this sucks. And it's like, it really doesn't, because at the end of the day, like your goals mean more. And at the same time, like, dude, eventually you're going to be there anyways. Enjoy, like, give yourself, eventually you're going to be an overall winner. You got your IFBB pro card, and you're going to be like,
you won't even think about it.
Yeah.
You won't even be like, oh, I regret missing Thanksgiving because I went pro. You won't.
Yeah, exactly.
I guarantee you won't think that.
Not like, stay focused on your goal.
Yeah, you won't regret it. You'll regret if you don't give it your all for that prep, because prep is such a short time frame anyways.
It is 30 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, it is a short time.
I said short, and then I was like, yeah. Depends who you are. But
yeah, you're like, well, I went more 9 months, so yeah.
But like, to me, that felt short, and I'm ready to go
meals,
again,
like,
dude.
here and there. Yeah, exactly.
What is wrong with me?
Well, that's just like, that's part of, but you also, you're in your place of like, you went nose diving deep into the off season, and now you're finding your balance between everything.
Yeah.
And like that balance part is just a transition period, and usually like you run to what's most comfortable for you, and what's most comfortable for you is being in prep. So now you're in that phase of like, how can I balance both out?
That's so funny you say that. One of my clients said that to me yesterday. She was like, you spent so long in prep that it's more comfy for you to be in prep than it is for you to not be. And I was like, you are right, and I'm scared. Why do you know that?
It's true. I put on my story. Like, it's true. Yeah. I put on my story, like, the reason why we run from something is or have self-sabotage in certain areas and run towards other things is because we're most comfortable within what we've already felt.
Yeah.
So you're most comfortable within that prep setting and staying disciplined because you already done it. Like, that's
because being on prep is easy for me because I did it for so long.
So do what's hard. And now you're gonna realize
what's hard is like not.
It's gonna be fun though.
Yeah, but I'm having fun. Like, I am very much having fun.
And once I'm in it with you, as two IG pros,
I already know you, me, Sage, Emily.
Like, bro, girls' night.
Yeah,
Faith. Dude, we haven't had a girls' night ever.
Dude, we're gonna have some fun. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. But yeah, I guess we should wrap up the 1 year pod.
Yes, we really appreciate y'all with all our love and hearts.
Oh, that's why I brought up Thanksgiving. I wanted to say that, and then we went off on the tangent, but I wanted to say that I'm very thankful for this podcast and for everybody who listens, who DMs us, who messages us, all the positivity. And at the same time, I'm also thankful for the negativity because it has taught me resilience. It's taught me that not everyone will like me. And it's also given us engagement. So I'm thankful for it.
It's also made you less of a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that was one of your goals that you wanted to overcome.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yo, see, we just checking off boxes around here.
That's what we do.
But I'm very, very grateful for it because the growth that you and I have both seen, I think, has been largely facilitated by this podcast. So I just wanted to say, like,
we love you.
Everybody listening right now, we love you. You're incredible. We're so grateful for you. And we can't wait to hopefully meet each and every one of you someday.
And we truly believe in y'all. So just let you know. Thank you for sticking around. Stick around for another year, please.
Yes. Year 1, check. Let's see what year 2 has in store for us.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She's looking good. She's looking real good.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you guys. And we'll talk to you again soon. Peace.